I.S.S. is a paranoid thriller about the International Space Station. If you've seen the trailer, the basic concept is you've got American and Russian astronauts on the ISS when nuclear war breaks out on Earth. And each side is given orders from their respective governments to take control of the station. And when I saw the trailer, it looked like each side basically immediately goes, okay, we're gonna go and figure out how to take the ISS. But I was very glad to see that no, a bunch of scientists wouldn't just immediately go, okay, we're soldiers now, let's take the ISS. It, I think, did a really good job. First off, they recreated the ISS really well. If you've ever seen what Chris Hadfield, he was the Canadian astronaut who was on the ISS who did all those video blogs back in the day. What the ISS looks like is somewhat familiar to the general audience, and I think from what I've seen of actual footage of the ISS, I think they really nailed it. I think it looks really good. I'm not sure how they did the zero-G, whether they filmed it by using the vomit comet, that they like how they filmed Apollo 13, they built the sets in an airplane, and they had the airplane do parabolic flights so that they were in free fall for periods of 30 seconds at a time. They could have filmed it like that, but I know there's other ways to simulate zero-G, sometimes with harnesses and stuff like that, so they might have just gone with harnesses that would probably be cheaper. Me says, RIP ISS, they're going to crash it. Well, yeah, but no, like I said, I was worried based on the trailer that it was just going to be each side just immediately goes, okay, how do we take control of the ISS? But I was very glad to see that it actually took kind of a very smart and deliberate approach to how each of these characters reacts to this news that there's a nuclear holocaust going on beneath them, and they've been ordered to take the station, but they don't want to. And so it's just a whole bunch of paranoia and people not knowing who to trust and miscommunications and stuff like that. It's I would say this is probably a solid B thriller on a grading scale. There's one moment in the film that really stood out to me because I grew up in Russia in the 90s, right after the fall of the Soviet Union. And there's a scene early on where they're all just hanging out together, having drinks. They're welcoming in a couple of new crew, and they're listening to music, and the song Winds of Change comes on. And if you don't know the song Winds of Change, it was playing everywhere in the early 90s, at least in Europe. It has this whistle motif, and I'm gonna try and whistle, but I don't know if my noise suppression is gonna capture it. But it goes okay, no, I'm whistling, and I can see very clearly that it's not capturing it, but it goes da 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 da. Imagine that in whistles. One character just starts singing the lyrics to the song. One of the Americans starts singing, and then one of the Russians gets very upset, and they start having a political argument before everyone else reminds, hey, we don't speak politics here. But he talks about how it's you don't understand. For me, that song, that represents a very dark time for my country. I just think about what it did to my parents and my grandparents. And yeah, having grown up in Russia in the early 90s, this song was everywhere. And the song is written, I think the song was written about the fall of the Berlin Wall. I heard it all the time in Russia. So to see another character just identify it as this song to me represents the fall of the Soviet Union, that spoke to me directly. I was I completely understand where you're coming from. That was written by somebody who understands. Yeah, I would recommend this movie. It's not the most amazing thing ever. I think if you want to see a sci-fi series about Americans and Russians fighting in space, I would highly recommend that you check out the Apple TV Plus series For All Mankind, which is an alt history series where Russia beat America to the moon, and so the space race never ended. This movie felt if you ignored the nuclear holocaust on Earth, because I don't think the show would go there, you could definitely have this kind of a conflict in that show. And if you like this movie, then you should definitely check out For All Mankind. But this one was fun. Hey, thanks for watching. Your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. And drop a comment below telling me what you thought of the video. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific and Sundays at 2, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whaled Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.